Thank you very much for the opportunity to come and present a part of my PhD. So I will be taking you through the 18 months of the work that I've been doing on this topic with the University of Pretoria. That is really focusing on the biogeography and conservation of narrow-range endemic animal species in South Africa. So I hope to show you some preliminary results of what we have up to this point. So the very reason, the definition of endemic species are, these are species restricted to a specific geographic area, and this area may be small or may be very large. So if we speak about the site of a site endemic, this is a species that you find only at one site, which might be maybe a cave in the Western Cape as the only area where you would find the species. And also we have something that is called a continental endemic species, which is a species that you might find only in Africa, for example. So the reason we study endemic species is that they provide clues to evolution of the diversity that we observe. They have a higher conservation value than the widespread species. And if we identify areas with high concentrations of endemics, this becomes important for conservation because the previous studies have indicated that if you identify your centers of endemism based on the large concentration of endemic species, these areas also represent very well the areas that are high in terms of species diversity as well as species richness. So in South Africa so far, most of the centers of endemism are largely based on plants, and there are few studies that have been done on vertebrates, and there's no studies that we found that focused on invertebrates in this case. So the definition of narrow-range endemic species that we adopted comes from the IUCN. This is the definition that they have used in the process of identifying key biodiversity areas. So narrow-range endemics are a terrestrial or freshwater species with naturally small distribution with a global extent of occurrence of less than 10,000 kilometers squared. And in terms of literature, we see that in Australia, they have used this definition for what they call short-range endemism. So as an example, this is this frog that is only found in the Western Cape government. And if this frog is assessed using the IUCN criteria, the result comes out as this frog is under critically endangered. And we know that it's not all groups of species in South Africa that has been assessed using that criteria, especially in the invertebrate groups. So this study takes an exploratory approach and take a list of species that we find in South Africa and then subset that list to species that are endemic, and then further refine the list to species that qualify for our narrow-range endemic species criteria, which is the species with a geographical range of less than 10,000 kilometers squared. So the reason we study narrow-range endemic is that endemic species form part of our heritage. So South Africa has a sole responsibility of safeguarding the conservation of these endemic species. And South Africa has also signed a Convention on Biological Diversity that we will do our best to deal with biodiversity loss so that the current and the future generation can benefit from the biodiversity we have. So the small geographic range means that these species are vulnerable to extinction, and these species have very long evolutionary history. These are the species that we call paleoendemics or relicts, which are the species that we find in areas that have been there for many, many years through the cooling and the warming of climate. And also we have species that reflect recent radiations, where it's like in an area you will find that the species is diverging to form new species. So those areas are also important. So it is important to understand the processes and the spatial patterns for conservation in this case. So the objectives of this presentation is to show the number of narrow-range endemics that we have for reptiles, frog, butterflies, and millipedes, and also to highlight the distribution patterns of narrow-range endemics for these groups, as well as identify potential centers of narrow-range endemism for these selected animal groups. So in terms of the method, we start by taking the South African animal species checklist that is available on the Biodiversity Advisor on SANBI's website. That is really the work that is done by experts, taxon experts, and SANBI helps with the coordination of that. And then we get the occurrence record from atlases as well as museum collections. This data is then analyzed in our package and ArcGIS. So the limitation of this study is that for some groups we have incomplete data, or sometimes there is a taxonomic sampling bias where some groups are more sampled than others, or we have a geographic bias where some areas, especially along the roads, have more records because people pass there and then they tend to record what they see. So in terms of the result, these graphs here indicate the total number of species that we find in South Africa, indicated by a gray bar, and then the green one indicates the total number of species that are listed as endemic to South Africa, and the pinkish color bar indicates the species that qualify for narrow-range endemism based on the criteria that we chose. So if we look, for example, at the millipedes, the millipedes indicate, we can see that we have more than 400 species that are known to occur in South Africa, of which about 80% is endemic to the region, and more than 200 species qualify for narrow-range endemism. And this is a list of other groups that I still need to go and assess and get a list of narrow-range endemics. So if we look at this, for example, at grasshoppers, we have about 1,000 species in South Africa of grasshoppers that are known to occur, of which more than half of them are known to be endemic to the region. In terms of species richness maps that was done based on the 10-minute grid cell, we see for millipedes, the potential centers of endemism are those areas around the KZN and in the CFR. And if we look at the frogs, we see the CFR as highlighted as important for narrow-range endemism. And butterflies indicate two areas, one along the escarpment and the other one in the Western Cape. And reptiles have this interesting pattern where we see narrow-range endemism confined to the escarpment as well as part of the KwaZulu-Natal area. And if you look at all the four put together, the escarpment still comes up as important for narrow-range endemism. And we see there's also a bias that you see from the area. There's a road coming from Durban to Pietermaritzburg that we've observed for millipedes that is identified as an area with a lot of species that is a potential center of endemism. And we also see the CFR as important. So in conclusion, this study is first of its kind to focus on high levels of narrow-range endemism or for animals that really include most groups from vertebrates and invertebrates. And we've seen that the areas of high species richness for narrow-range endemism show different patterns just for these four taxa. So we can't wait to see how this pattern will change if we add these other 6 groups on the study. So in general, most areas that are identified as potential centers of endemism for animals include the escarpment, the coastal plain, and the area in the Western Cape. So in terms of the future work, we intend to expand on the number of taxa to include and to explain the processes and drivers of narrow-range endemism in South African animal species, thereby again identify the relicts, which are species that have been in an area for a long time, and the new endemics, which are the species that are undergoing radiations, and also to identify areas and landscape features that have high numbers of narrow-range endemics within and across taxa, and lastly to assess the current levels of protection using our current protected area network. And many, many thanks to the people that have shared their pictures. through Wikimedia Commons that I could use for my presentation. And I would like to thank my supervisors, Professor Mark Robertson from University of Pretoria and Professor Michelle Hamer from SANBI in their absence. Thank you very much.